Founded in 1946 as the Basketball Association of America, the NBA League is coming into its 75th season in 2021. There had been many legends at some stage in the records of the league, and in this video, we are going to talk about the legacies they created by using decades. Here are the nice gamers of every of the 7 decades in NBA records. 50s, George Mikan. George Mikan became the NBA's first dominant player and its first real movie star. Coming from DePaul University, where he was a 3-time All-American, he signed to address the Minneapolis Lakers for $12,500 in line with year, then an astronomically high fee. Standing at 6'10" and 250 kilos, Mikan changed into the tallest participant within the league, as there have been only a few human beings on Earth at that top. In the 1940s, the common center in seasoned basketball was around 6'7", and Mikan dominated along with his length. But he changed into additionally extraordinarily professional, and could rating with each fingers. Opponents couldn't prevent him, and Mikan's dominance forced the NBA to make numerous critical rule modifications. They widened the lane from 6 to 12 toes, instituted goaltending, and most importantly, they applied the 24-second shot clock in 1954. Before this rule, groups could frequently stall the sport as a good deal as possible so Mikan would not get the ball, which ended in games which includes 19-18, the bottom rating in NBA history. He turned into additionally an immensely famous player when basketball becomes still developing as a recreation. Bill Russell. The season after George Mikan retired, some other dominant middle came to the NBA. While Mikan ruled because of his offense, Bill Russell changed into a progressive defensive player who ought to have led the league in blocked shots each 12 months if the stat changed into counted back then. Russell received his first 2 titles within the 50s, but it became inside the 60s wherein he and the Celtics became the first-rate group in sports history. The Celtics took a robust preserve of the NBA championship trophy and wouldn't permit cross like a green anaconda over a helpless capybara. Russell and the Celtics gained each NBA name in the 60s, except in 1967, while Wilt in the end prevailed with the 76ers. And despite the fact that Chamberlain became individually a higher participant than Russell, with some distance advanced information, Bill dominated within the most vital stat, the range of earrings on his hands, winning 9 out of 10 titles, without a doubt putting him on the pinnacle of the board inside the 60s. 70s, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Ironically, in the subsequent season after Bill Russell retired, another dominant huge man entered the NBA scene. It became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then called Lou Alcindor, who was coming off 3 titles in 3 college seasons with UCLA. Kareem saved his winning habits, bringing the first and best championship to Milwaukee in just his 2nd season. While Jabbar best gained that 1 title in the 70s with 1 more finals look, there may be no argument that he changed into the first-rate player of the last decade. Most people bear in mind Kareem because the bald man with glasses who helped the Lakers win 5 championships within the 80s, but inside the 70s, whilst he had a full head of hair, Kareem was absolutely unstoppable. Magic might move directly to win 4 extra titles inside the 80s, 3 MVPs, and several man or woman accolades. He changed into, with the aid of some distance, the best passer in the league, one of the best leaders, and the largest superstar at the time the NBA desperately needed one. 1990s, Michael Jordan. Michael became called the GOAT via some humans even before his first title, honestly because he dominated the sport of basketball like no person else before him. In the 80s, he averaged 33.6 and 6 and did matters that appeared not possible, leaping better than it ought to be humanly viable. But he never went far in the playoffs, after he added extra muscle, after he began to bypass the ball a chunk greater, and with the upward push of Scottie Pippen, the entirety clicked for MJ and fell into its area. Jordan cemented his legacy with 6 titles in 6 finals and have become a basketball deity for anybody who watched him play and for the generations but to come. Kobe Bryant. When Mike retired for the 2nd time, the media pushed the narrative of the subsequent Jordan for at the least a dozen players, but no person embodied MJ's talents and character more than Kobe, who turned into essentially Jordan's more youthful brother, as both were cut from the identical material. Just like his idol, Bryant turned into maniacal in his education. Maybe even greater so. When I first performed against him, I changed into surprised how technically sound Michael turned into. His technique was faultless. I wanted to make certain mine turned into simply as wonderful. Kobe entered his top at the flip of the millennium and fashioned the most dominant 1-2 punch with Shaq as the duo added 3 more titles to the Lakers' trophy row. Kobe dominated with the equal killer instinct that MJ had and made records with some of the maximum mythical video games the league has ever visible, like 81 points towards the Raptors or 62 3/4 towards the Mavs. Kobe was virtually unstoppable in his high, and at some stage in the 2000s, he averaged 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. 2010s, LeBron James. Kobe's summit changed into in 2010, and as his profession became slowly declining, it turned into King James's time to sit at the NBA throne. And although it became obvious he became the next